Hey guys, surprise, surprise, we've got another Robinhood investing video here on this channel. If you are new, my name is Dalton. This is DLITS TV. We talk about all things investing on this channel with my tips, tricks, and insight into the stock market. I'm really excited to bring you this video today, and what we're going to be covering is, how to use Robinhood investing as a beginner. I'm going to be walking through kind of my portfolio, sharing with you everything that I wish I knew before I started investing with Robinhood. And whether you have already used Robinhood, you've used it, you feel like you're a pro, there's definitely some things in this video that I'm sure you've missed out on that you could pick up and utilize in your own investing portfolio, utilize features that Robinhood has that maybe you just weren't aware of. And other things that I'm going to be doing is showing you the first things that you should be doing when you open up that Robinhood app and getting started. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the Robinhood app and kick things off. All right, so now with the home screen of the Robinhood app up, the first thing I want to talk about is that very first initial setup method that you should be doing when you start using Robinhood. And if you haven't set this up already, I would highly recommend doing that. So let's think about it. When you think about money investing, what do you want to do with that money? Well, the first thing is to be secure with that money. You want to make sure the money you're putting in is going to be there for you no matter what happens. Robinhood, like other brokerages, is actually susceptible to cyber attacks, people trying to extract information, get access to accounts that they shouldn't have. But what is the first line of defense that is nearly impossible to break through? And that's setting up two-factor authentication. So if you don't have that already set up, I would highly, highly recommend it. When it comes to money, you don't want to joke around. You don't want to screw around and lose out on any of that. So to set it up within Robinhood, all you need to do is hit that little guy icon in the bottom right. It's going to take you into this section right here. And then you can go ahead and you can scroll down and click on the settings. And in settings, you can see the two-factor authentication right there in the middle. Mine is enabled right now. I'd highly recommend just clicking in there. I turned it on and my method is through SMS. So I get a text message anytime someone's trying to log into my account. It looks a little bit suspicious. They're going to notify me. They're going to say, hey, you haven't logged in on this account. Is this actually you trying to get in? And I have to enter a code once that happens. And once that's done, I'm able to actually access the account. So the thing is, I rarely use Robinhood on anything other than my MacBook or my iPhone. I mainly use it on my iPhone, but it's definitely something completely necessary to have on your account as a backup. And then you can see that there is a backup code here at the bottom. What that does is if you actually lose your device, you don't have access to it, all else fails, you have this backup number. I believe it's like 8 to 10 digits that Robinhood will present to you. Save it in another location, have it written down, ready to go in case something happens, you're not able to get into your account. This code is going to be your lifesaver. Now, that is the very first thing anyone should do when they are setting up their Robinhood account, no matter where you are. So if you haven't done that, make sure you do that. Now I'm going to go over to the home screen, give you a little bit of an overview. You can see at the top here, you see my portfolio. You can go back in the history, see the day, week, month, 3 month, 1 year, and all-time trend. You can see my buying power right below that. That's how much I have in the Robinhood app, not invested, ready to be invested, 1 cent currently because I spend $100 a week. If you guys didn't know, I do a series on this channel. It's called the Robinhood Challenge. I invest $100 every single week, share with you guys everything that I'm doing. So you get a sense of how I am as an investor, what I like to look for, and maybe you can learn from, not only my wins, but my mistakes as well. So as I'm scrolling down just a little bit, you can see I actually have a free stock waiting for me right now. I have a few. I'll open them up for you guys live screen, but essentially, if you guys didn't know and you haven't signed up for Robinhood already, you can use a referral code and you're going to get yourself a free stock, and whoever's referral code you use will get a free stock as well. Now, my referral code will be in the description of this video, so definitely click down there if you haven't signed up before. You can do that, but honestly, if you have a friend, if you know other people who use Robinhood app, highly recommend just reaching out to them, getting their code, help them out, help yourself out. It's going to be great for everyone's portfolio. But to show you how it works, let me just click into here. This one's Ahmed. Ahmed actually signed up for the account. So you get 3 options. It's really, really cool. It's kind of like a scratch ticket. I'm going to go here on the left-hand side and just scratch it off. Let's see what we get. Clovis Oncology, so $4.94. Robinhood says that all the stocks on this are anywhere between $5 and I believe it's like $250 to $500. So it's interesting. I haven't gotten some of those big name tickets, but let me know in the comment section. Have you guys gotten any great stocks? And if you do sign up, leave what stock you got. I'd be highly interested in knowing. Now this one's $4.94. Robinhood says $5. Obviously the stock market fluctuates. They can't be 100% accurate with that information. Now, obviously they're going to be as close as they possibly can, but it doesn't always work out like that. So let me go ahead. I have another one. I can't pronounce that name. Sorry about that, but I'm going to go ahead on the right-hand side here, scratch this off. Let's see what we get. Hopefully one of those big ones. Prospect Capital, a monthly dividend company worth $5 exactly. So I'm getting the lower end of this right here. And those were the only two invites that I had waiting for me there. So you can see in that same section where I was alerted of those free stocks, I have actually some news articles coming in for Robinhood. It basically shows you what's trending, what's going on. And a lot of these are stocks or ETFs or news that is affecting your portfolio. So if you want to get more information, let's see, you're looking at this Bitcoin thing right here. So one thing I'm invested in on this portfolio is PayPal. Within PayPal, they actually recently announced that you're going to be able to buy and sell Bitcoin. It's not quite available, but I am on the waiting list for that. It's going to be interesting to see how that platform kind of shifts and enhances that technology. But if I want to learn more about that, I could click into it. It takes me right to the news article, scroll through, read it, do whatever you want with that article. Such great feature right there to have all of that at your fingertips, at your disposal. You can see my portfolio is right here. And as I scroll through and you guys get a feel for what kind of stocks and ETFs I'm investing in, you're going to notice something probably pretty quickly. And most of these companies here you have heard of in the past. So what I like to do is mitigate that risk from investing by investing in solid performing companies that have been backed, that have great financial statistics, that look like they're poised for growth in the future as well. Another thing I tend to focus on is dividend investing, where my highest holding is SPHD, which is a high dividend paying but low volatility ETF. It was funny, I recently got their dividend payment was actually earlier today. So if I scroll down into the history of that, you can see today I reinvested $8.33 back into SPHD. And that's pretty much what I do with all my dividends. It helps grow my portfolio. And I was recently watching a video where someone was talking about, putting all your money to work and valuing money and time as the same thing. So let's say you work for an hour at work and you made $20. Do you value some things as an hour of that work time, or do you value it in a different way? Meaning, let me break that down even further. I know that's a little long-winded and a little bit confusing, but if you have that $20 and let's say you invest that $20, and from that $20, you could be paid an extra dollar, every single year. Now, when you're structuring that, you're setting it up, that dollar obviously isn't going to do too much. But if you continually hold back on spending money on unnecessary things and investing that $20 time and time again, eventually it will add up and be worth so much, and you're going to keep benefiting from it. So that's something that I've been trying to do, find ways to save money, invest more, and Robinhood Investing is one of the ways that I've been able to capitalize on that. So a lot of great stocks in here. One thing that I kind of wish I knew more of when I first started investing was, diversification. So I've recently been trying to really diversify my portfolio, make sure I'm not too heavily in certain industries, certain sectors, ETFs. But one way to do that is diversifying within actual individual stocks, within individual industries, the different ETFs that you're investing in. Are you in, real estate, primarily heavy real estate? Are you in consumer products? Are you in technology? And trying to keep that as diversified as possible. So that way, if one industry is doing really poorly, it's not going to completely eliminate how your portfolio performs. So the other thing is you can also be too diversified, which was something that was happening to me. I actually had to cut back on the amount of stocks that I was investing in around a $8,000 portfolio at the time. I probably had close to 30, 40 stocks, and I was really just, some of my investments I had way better positions in. I bought in at great times because I really felt there was a lot of value in them at the time, and I could have capitalized had I invested more money in them at that specific point in time. And then I continually added different stocks to my portfolio thinking, hey, this makes for an interesting video, getting that variation, but really it was hurting my portfolio more than helping it out. So recently I started restructuring how I was going about my investments. And that's another one of the very first things that you need to really be able to focus on when you're starting investing is taking a step back, looking at your strategy, understanding, are you, setting yourself up properly? What I want to do is get my portfolio value to $10,000 and then focus more on growth companies. I want to have a nice basis of dividend stocks and then slowly start introducing those growth companies as well. Now I do have a few. I have Tesla in here that I picked up after their stock split. And then I recently picked up PayPal as well. Now those are two more focused on growth. They don't really have dividends. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's continue. You can scroll down to the bottom here. Robinhood has a list feature. I don't really use it all that much. I can see how it's useful for some people. If you wanted to create a new list, you can see at the very bottom, you can go ahead, click create a new list. You can name it, let's say, dividend stocks. You wanted to get some dividend stocks in here. You go ahead, click create. And then right in here, you can change the icon. If you want to name it differently, you can click here, click edit, and then edit this little icon here. Let's do rain symbols, because we're making it rain in this portfolio. You can then click done there and then find stocks you want to add here. So dividend stocks, I think of Coca-Cola. Let's add them. I think of Apple, add them. And basically that's how you're going to add them all in one portion, one part of your portfolio. You can jump in here, look at them real quick, see what's going on with them. A nice to have feature. I don't really use it all the time. Then you have this little cash icon in the bottom of it. Over here, it's going to go through your recent history. You can see what's going on, with all history. You can look at primarily just your orders, so what you've been buying and selling. You can look at your transfers, where they're coming from, how much money you're putting into Robinhood. Your dividends, this is my absolute favorite section. So you can see my dividends, started off really small and they're definitely starting to add up here. And the thing about dividends, they fluctuate every month, but this is a really great portion to jump in, look, see what's going on, see how much money you're making month over month. And I don't know, I love dividend investing mainly because no matter where the stock market's going, up or down, you're still getting paid this portion and you can reinvest it in your portfolio. So I know it doesn't look like a lot, but those two, SPHD Realty Income there at the top, think about it, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 about. That's, a Netflix subscription for a month. And I get paid that almost every single month because SPHD and Realty Income pay a dividend every single month. Now, typically with dividend companies, you're going to look at, quarterly dividends, and it really depends on what you're investing in. But for those two particular ones, every single month I get paid. I love them for that reason. And it's just great to have in the portfolio. You also see this Robinhood Gold section right here. If you did have a gold subscription, it would show when that money is being taken out. I had it. I just was testing it out, made a few videos on it back in the day. That's the only reason why you see money subtracted here. I have this reward section where this is all the rewards money I've got. You can see it's pretty solid. It does add up over time, and it's something that I've structured for a while now. And then you can look at any interest payments coming in. That's a new feature for Robinhood. That's if you have the cash management account, you get paid on any money just sitting in your Robinhood account that's not being invested. You also have options. So if you are buying and selling options, they're right here. You can see I suck at options tradings. That's why they're all $0. I literally lose money every single time. I hate options. I will never trade them again. You got corporate actions right here. As I scroll down, you can see this is where it talks about the Robinhood cash management. You can talk about the accruing interest that I have coming in, everything right there set up. My lifetime interest paid 19 cents. Hey, I'm balling. I'm rolling in it right now. Robinhood, thank you for this cash management feature. You can see my debit card right here. I do have a physical card as well that Robinhood has gave to me. And then I can find free ATMs or report a problem with that card. Set up my PIN. You can see the account number, the routing number, everything right here. And you can control, lock withdrawals, make sure that if someone gets your card, they're not going to be able to withdraw any money. Then here's the search section. Within here, you have the breakdown of the news, everything going on. You can look at different stocks, but if you are brand new to Robinhood, brand new to investing in general, one really solid section that I'd recommend looking at is the 100 most popular. So if you click into the 100 most popular, it's going to bring you to this screen right here, and you can sort it by symbol, price, or percent change. I feel like a lot of people will go in here after first starting, sort by price, and they're going to try and get the lowest value at the top here, and they're going to be like, oh, oh man, these are the most popular. They're going to kill it. Well, here's the thing. I can't suggest investing in, very cheap stocks, below $5. You're considered a penny stock at that point. You're really, really risky. It's just something a lot of people jump in and they're asking me to take a look at these individual small cap, really small stocks. I don't do that. Let's go into Cosmos Energy. For example, if I look at them, you can see they have a wicked high dividend yield according to Robinhood, 18.18. Like that's just unattainable in my mind. But if you look at them, what I look at is their market cap, and they have a 405.13 million market cap. For me, I look for billions of dollars for market cap here. I look for those high cap companies, but you'll see if you go into some of these, they're going to be even smaller than that. This one's 345.81. MFA. This one is, let's look at that. This one has a 1.3 billion, but let's go look at something like Apple real quick, and then I'll drill back into that 100 most popular section. If you look at Apple, their market cap is 1.89 trillion. Okay. Not every company is going to be like that. But let's look at Coca-Cola again as an example. If you jump into Coca-Cola, we're looking at a 209.65 billion. So I look for these huge market caps. It just indicates that they've got a lot going on for them. You don't have to be necessarily as worried as some of those smaller caps. So let me go ahead and sort by price again. Pull this in here. So let me scroll down on some of these. If you were thinking about, hey, maybe going into GE, for example, let's look at them. They got a $64.82 billion market cap. You can see their open high. These are where all the stats are for the company. Definitely recommend backing this up. Look at Yahoo Finance as an example for these stocks. Make sure that you're getting the most up-to-date information. A lot of times what I've noticed as a dividend investor, their dividends aren't entirely accurate. They're actually off by a few, sometimes whole percentage marks. So make sure that you are looking at that if you're investing in them. You can see down here, you got analyst ratings, you got more news for these. You can see 63% of people are saying buy, but just because they say buy doesn't mean you should buy. And just because I am buying stocks doesn't mean you need to buy stocks. I'm just really some dude on the internet who loves investing, loves personal finance. And I can't tell you a lot of these stocks where they're going to be headed, in the short term. So you could get in, you could buy and have a really, really bad time right now because the stock market is so crazy. I feel like it will be going down for a little bit, but honestly, that's just my own personal opinion. Nobody really knows what's going to be happening. And especially with the election coming up, so much news coming out, it makes it a lot more cloudy. It makes it harder to indicate where we're headed. So you can see that's another great way of going about this. If you scroll down, people also own, it's just similar stocks to that people are buying. And if you scroll down, you can see I used to own GE. These were the things that were coming from GE for me. The history, you can learn about the company here. You can click show more. It basically tells you what they're going to do. It does this for almost every single stock or ETF out there. And then you can see where their headquarters is, their CEO, when they were founded, their employees. A lot of great information here. But again, look up this information elsewhere as well. Just verify it. So then we got this section right here, messages. If you look at the messages, it's just going to be Robinhood's way of trying to be hip, being cool, being like, yo, man, we're just going to text you and we're going to give you some information on what's been going on. So recently I got that history of the dividend payment for SPHD. They're just kind of texting me. I don't really use this feature ever. I just look at the history. It makes it easier to break it down, understand what's going on in my portfolio. Then if I hit this little guy icon, bottom right, again, you can see this is where you're going to look at those free stocks. You can go over here. You can get Robinhood Gold. I don't use Robinhood Gold. I don't really think that a lot of people need it unless you're trading margins, which if you're a brand new investor, don't even think about margins trading. You can invite your friends, get that free stock. You can also look at sign up for Robinhood Snacks, which is kind of like their newsletter in a way, and they send out little video snippets with it too. And then you can see those most popular. We already talked about that. Free stocks, investing. You can set up a dividend reinvestment here. You can set up recurring investments. What that means is if you go into recurring investments, you can create a recurring investment here and structure one. So let's say I wanted to invest in Tesla. I wanted to invest every single day, or maybe let's say every single week. I could click continue there. I can select where I want the money to come from, so my bank account, and then I can do the amount. Let's say I wanted $50 weekly. I would click review and I would swipe up, but that's not actually what I'm going to be doing. I just wanted to show you how the feature actually works. So let me back out of this now. And you can do that with as many stocks, as many ETFs as you want. So that's recurring investments. You also have dividend reinvestment, which we saw with SPHD earlier. Essentially, when you're paid a dividend for these companies, it's going to get reinvested automatically back into the stock or ETF. So here we are looking at all the ones that I have dividend reinvestment on. They're all the ones with the check on the right-hand side. So pretty much all of these are reinvested right back into those companies. And I just love it because I don't really have to worry about going back in, selecting these, reinvesting them manually. It's just automatically going to do it for me, saves me time. Then you can enable spreads if you want, and enable options trading if you don't have it. But again, as a new investor, options trading is great for a lot of people, but honestly, get the fundamentals of investing down. Start to learn the market, understand what's going on, be comfortable with making and losing money and making sound decisions before you jump into some of these different methods of investing, I would think. So you got your statements and history, where you're also going to find your taxes down here, settings, help, and your account numbers at the bottom there. So now what I want to do is just look at my portfolio and talk about some basic things that I think every investor should know when they're jumping in. Look at, what I've done, how I've structured this portfolio. So you can see mine right now is valued at $8,527.32. Now this is something that you might think, that a lot of people might think, that's a lot of money. A lot of people would think that is not a lot of money. In my boat, $8,500 in the stock market as a 24-year-old investor. This isn't my only account. I feel like if I combined everything, I'd have just a bit more money to share, but this is what I like to share in my account. $8,500. It depends on your financial situation, where you're working, how much you're able to invest. For me, $8,500 feels a bit low, but I also do other things with my money. I've been reinvesting in the YouTube channel, trying to grow things here. So where I'm not capitalizing fully on all the money I can put in, it takes a lot of time to even grow an $8,500 portfolio. So the biggest thing is just get started and set up a recurring investment if you can. For me, I invest $100 every single week. Does that mean you have to invest $100 every single week? No. I would say if you can invest, $10 a week, maybe $100 every single month, that's pretty solid too. Wherever you are comfortable with, wherever you can start, and get a feel for the market, as I explained before. You want to understand, what happens, how it all works, and the best way to do that is to jump in, watch YouTube videos, understand, try and get yourself an understanding, just experience it firsthand and learn from others. So my channel is a great resources. Other channels I look at, Bruce Wang is one, Andre Zick has one. There's a lot of great YouTubers out there that share some solid financial knowledge. Graham Stephan, there's some great ones that I highly recommend checking out as well. Now, this $8,500 portfolio, if I scroll way back in the history of my Robinhood, let me go back. You can see, oh my God, I've done a lot of things on this account. So if I scroll down to the very bottom, my first trade was back in 2016, where I was, not really understanding the market, trying to get used to it. I was buying penny stocks. I was trading them, losing money, making money. It was actually kind of ironic. I made a lot of money off the first penny stock trade that I made, and then basically lost all of that money after that. And it was kind of sad. But one thing I've noticed is I used to panic when I was holding stocks and they went down in value. So for example, if I go over into Amazon and we look at some of the positions that I was holding on Amazon. Now, keep in mind, as I'm going through this, Amazon is worth right around $3,000 right now. Let me look at the history for Amazon, and I can show you, you can see right where I screwed up with some stocks like this. So if I scroll down to the bottom of Amazon limit buy in 2017, I got a full share of Amazon for $1,158. And then what did I do with that? I bought another one after that for $1,344. And then sold it at $1,500, and then sold another one at $1,400. Well, if I held on to that money, that's more than doubling the amount that I put in. And part of that was because I had to sell and get money for rent, and I was investing in money that I really shouldn't have been investing in the first place. But another part of that is I just didn't understand the basic fundamentals of investing and what buying and holding could really do for you. So as stocks, go down in value, it doesn't necessarily indicate that they are a poor investment. Now, I'm not saying go invest in all these stocks, throw your money in there, and what happens is the stocks can go down, don't sell. A lot of people, when they first start investing, are investing in really bad stocks that aren't going to do well for you. So make sure that you understand the risk that comes with investing, but also don't panic sell. It's hard. It's easier said than done. And especially today where I really personally believe the stock market is going to tank a little bit, it's going to be really key to watch somebody like myself, I feel like, and understand that I'm not going to sell my investments that I currently have because I'm happy with the place that I'm at, and in the way off future, because I'm going to be holding this portfolio for 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line and just continuing to build it out, that over that period of time, it's not going to matter. I'm trying to find companies that will still be around, companies that are going to grow in the future. And I feel like I've structured my portfolio pretty well for that. Now, if you guys made it this far into the video, it really would mean a lot to me if you just click that like button. I'm sure you took something away if you stayed for this long. I really do appreciate the support. If you guys have any questions about investing, any questions about the Robinhood app, make sure to leave them in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to all of you. And thank you so much for checking out this video. Have a great day.